Welcome, everyone. My name is Kristen Wood-Hegner, and I'm the WebGrants Administrator at the New Mexico Crime Victims Reparation Commission. Today, we're excited to give you an overview of the new WebGrants. WebGrants is our online grant management system where you can apply for and manage awards from CVRC at nmcvrcgrants.com. On Friday, July 21st, 2023, the system will be down temporarily for maintenance, and it will return on Monday, July 24th, with a new streamlined interface. The website will look a little different, but the functionality will largely stay the same. So, without further ado, let's get started. To access WebGrants, navigate to nmcvrcgrants.com. If this is your first time using WebGrants, click here to register. Complete the registration form, then click Save Registration Information. This will notify CVRC grant staff to add you into the system. If you've already registered, enter your login information on the sign-in page and click Sign In. This will take you to your dashboard where you can see your approaching deadlines, recent negotiations, and recent correspondence that took place in the WebGrants system. You can update your WebGrants profile by scrolling down and clicking My Profile, then select Edit My Profile. You can edit your name, title, email, address, and phone number. Then click Save My Profile. Under Dashboard, you can also find Alerts. This will have all the system notifications from WebGrants, like messages we've sent to you, invoice negotiations, and other updates. To find requests for proposals, click Funding Opportunities in the side menu. Here you'll find a list of all the current funding opportunities, and in the new system, you can sort these opportunities in more ways, such as by title, the date it was posted, and the final application due date. Click an item to find the instructions on how to apply. To start applying, click the green button called Start New Application. We won't walk through an application right now because each one will be different depending on the funding opportunity, and the details will be covered in that funding opportunity's RFP webinar. To return to an application you've already started, find Applications in the left menu. To edit or review an application, select it from the list. Once you've been awarded a grant, you can find them under Grants in the left side menu. All of your awards that are underway will appear in your Current Grants tab. You can also sort these in new ways, like by year, program area, like VAWA, VOCA, state, or SASP, the name of the funding opportunity, your project period, or the grant amount. You can also review your closed grants in the Closed Grants tab. Let's look at a current grant. Once you click into a grant, you can see all of the grant components. Once you select a component, the other components will now appear at the top, so you don't have to keep clicking the back button. And remember, in WebGrants, we want to use the back button in the system, not the back button in the browser. To submit an invoice, if you're already in a component, click the Invoice tab. Or you can submit an invoice from the main menu. Go to Grants and then click the grant that you want to submit an invoice for. Click Invoices, add claim. It'll be for reimbursement. Your first invoice will be for July 1st through July 31st, and click Save Form. Now there's a check mark there for that component. Click Reimbursement. And now you'll see the budget from your proposal. This budget has two positions. One is vacant, one is filled. So we're going to go to Edit Reimbursement. Vacant, we're not going to have an expense there. Staff person. This will be their salary. And then we want to do it for the same staff person, their benefits. So, 200, save reimbursement. And now you'll see subtotals for expenses this period. These are the subtotals that you want to make sure match your other documents and match your accounting sheet. This is something that CVRC will look for when we're reviewing your invoices. So we'll mark as complete. Okay, takes me back here, invoice supporting documentation. This is where you would upload, you'd say add new attachment and upload a file for your timesheet, your receipts, any invoices from a contractor. You would mark as complete. Won't let me mark it because I don't have anything submitted. Go next. Okay. Invoice advice. This is where you'll upload your accounting sheet. Please upload your accounting sheet as an Excel document. You can write notes in the margins if an explanation is needed for one of your expenditures. We recommend showing your work. Use formulas instead of just entering a number directly into a cell. That way the grants department staff can see what you were doing. When that's done, you can go back to your claims list. And these will all have check marks. And then you'll have a submit button. To request a budget revision, scroll down to contract amendments, not budget. I know it's confusing. Contract amendments, add amendment. This will be a budget revision. Add title. Let's say there's a staff change. Let's say we filled that position. Okay, budget revision, vacant advocate position filled. Now you'll enter the details of what your new budget will look like. You'll start with requested budget amendment, and you'll put in what the subtotals of each of these categories should be in your new budget. And scroll down. This budget narrative adjustment will be more detailed than what we've already written. So for example, this is a staff change. So I want to put the new staff person's name, how many hours a week they're working, 40 hours a week on VAWA. If we were doing a match, we would write the match here. So if they were doing 20 on VAWA, 20 on our match, we would write that. We'll put the rate. So you say $20 an hour. And any other details, of course, what their position is, they would be the victim advocate. If you're moving funds from one category to another, so let's say you had in-state travel, but you want to go to an out-of-state conference, you would write those details here. You'd write the information about the conference, where you're going, and you would specify we want to move this line item, the funds in this line item, from in-state to out-of-state. And scroll down. And this budget will be automatically generated. This is what your current budget is. And you want to double check that the totals here, sorry, not the totals here. You want to double check that the total program budget here, these ones, so your federal, your match, and your total, that matches what you have up here in your totals. So the totals for your requested budget amendment should match the totals in your current budget, even if your subcategories are changing. And then you'll add your documentation. So for our example, with our new staff coming in, we would want to add their resume. This is where you would add your budget amendment sheet that you can download on CVRC's website, and it's linked in the description. And then every time you make a change, you want to click Save Grid, Save Form. Go back to the amendment list. Then if I had submitted the documents, we would have a check there, and we would be able to submit here. In the Correspondence tab, You can communicate with CVRC grant staff directly in the WebGrants system. To send us a message, click Add Grantee Correspondence. In the To tab, you'll have a list of contacts that you can select. You can also add an email address in the CC. Add a subject line, just like you would in an email, and write your body in the message here. You can even add attachments. Once your message is ready, click Send Correspondence, and CVRC grant staff will be notified. Your grant administrator may have asked you to upload your contract into WebGrants. To do that, click the tab Signed Grant Contract. Then select the item from the menu below. Once you click in, you'll be able to upload your contract and click Save. Scroll down to your grants and click your VAWA grants. From the Grant Components menu, you can also revisit your primary components, your project budget, and your application. VAWA recipients will submit their quarterly reports here. Scroll down to Status Reports, then over here you'll click the green button, Add Status Report. Subtype, this would be your quarterly report. Give it a title. I'm just going to say Test Quarter 1. The first quarter will start July 1st, and it will go through September 30th. They're 3 months. And your quarterly report is due the 15th day of the month after the quarter ends. So July 15th through September would be October 15th. See, here's general information. That's what we just did. Click Next. You'll go through the purpose areas just like you did on your application and select which of these apply. Everyone will do that. Next. You can see it didn't let me continue because I didn't actually edit or mark as complete. You'll have to answer every question before it lets you continue. Every required question. And then save form. Now I can mark it as complete. And it takes me back and there's a little check mark there. We'll go to function areas. Some of these function areas will apply to you and your project, some of them will not. And there's a lot here, so I'm not going to go through all of them. To go back in WebGrants, you click the back button in the system, not on your web browser. Next is victim services. And again, some of this will apply to you, some of it won't. But if you're a victim service provider, your project is providing services to victims, then you'll have to fill this piece out. So many of you will be doing this section. So I recommend you go in and familiarize yourself with what sections you need to fill out and what data you need to be collecting so you can answer questions now. Click back. Again, these are the different sections that may or may not apply to you. And you click next. Law enforcement. Mark is complete. Okay, now we're going to jump ahead to the narrative. And the narrative is required for everyone. And you'll just write about what needs you see, what has stopped program funding allowed you to do, and the effectiveness of your grant. These are mandatory in the fourth quarter only. Once all of these components have a green check mark, you'll see a submit button and you'll be able to submit your progress reports. If you have any questions or need assistance navigating WebGrants, please do not hesitate to contact any of us in the CVRC Grants Department at cvrc.grants@cvrc.nm.gov or give us a call at 505-841-9432. We're more than happy to help. Thank you for watching, and we hope you like the new WebGrants.